Did you know that entire societies have collapsed because people simply followed the crowd? From the Salem witch trials to devastating financial bubbles, mass hysteria has repeatedly written history's darkest chapters. Throughout human history, our survival has hinged on a simple instinct: follow the group. Our ancestors who moved with the herd lived to pass on their genes, hardwiring this tendency into our psychology. But what once protected us from predators now leads us to stock market bubbles, viral challenges, and mass panic. This evolutionary shortcut, designed for a world of immediate physical threats, backfires spectacularly in our complex modern society. In the 1950s, psychologist Solomon Asch demonstrated just how powerful this instinct remains. In his groundbreaking conformity experiments, participants denied their own clear visual perception when faced with a unanimous group giving wrong answers. 75% of subjects conformed at least once, choosing to trust the crowd over their own eyes. The disturbing conclusion: we're wired to doubt ourselves when standing alone. This conformity becomes particularly dangerous during periods of uncertainty. When faced with ambiguous situations, whether financial markets, political upheaval, or public health crises, we instinctively look to others for guidance. This creates information cascades, where small initial reactions amplify into full-blown hysteria as each person influences the next. The resulting feedback loops can spiral into witch hunts, economic crashes, and devastating mass movements that reshape or destroy entire civilizations. Throughout history, financial markets have been theaters for some of humanity's most dramatic displays of collective madness. In 1630s Holland, tulip bulbs became the first documented speculative bubble. Ordinary citizens mortgaged their homes and liquidated life savings to purchase single bulbs for the equivalent of skilled workers' annual salaries. At peak mania, rare varieties sold for the price of Amsterdam mansions. When the collective spell broke in February 1637, prices plummeted by over 99% within weeks, financially ruining thousands who believed the frenzy would never end. Nearly 3 centuries later, the 1929 Wall Street crash showcased similar patterns. The preceding bull market created a culture where stock tips came from shoeshine boys and taxi drivers. Economist Joseph Kennedy famously sold his holdings after receiving investment advice from a shoeshiner, reasoning that when market tips reach the masses, the smart money should exit. The subsequent crash wiped out $30 billion in wealth, equivalent to nearly $500 billion today, dragging America into the Great Depression. The 2008 housing bubble demonstrated how even sophisticated financial experts succumb to collective delusion. Lenders, ratings agencies, and regulators collectively convinced themselves that property values could only rise. Meanwhile, millions of ordinary homebuyers, driven by FOMO, fear of missing out, took on mortgages they couldn't afford. When reality finally punctured this shared hallucination, the resulting financial contagion spread globally, destroying $1,008 trillion in wealth and countless lives. These episodes reveal a chilling truth. When it comes to financial bubbles, we rarely learn from history's hardest lessons. Throughout history, societies have repeatedly fallen victim to waves of collective delusion, where fear spreads like wildfire through communities. In 1692, Salem, Massachusetts became the epicenter of one such catastrophe. What began as accusations from a few young girls spiraled into mass hysteria, resulting in over 200 accusations of witchcraft and 20 executions. Neighbors turned against neighbors as social contagion transformed personal grievances into evidence of demonic activity. The community's fears created a self-reinforcing cycle where questioning the narrative became dangerous. Fast forward to the 1950s America, where a different hysteria gripped the nation. Senator Joseph McCarthy's crusade against supposed communist infiltration launched what we now call the Red Scare. With little evidence, McCarthy and his allies destroyed countless careers and lives. Americans lived in fear of being blacklisted or labeled a communist sympathizer. showing how quickly rational societies can embrace paranoia when primed with the right anxieties. This pattern persists into modern times. The satanic panic of the 1980s saw unfounded fears of ritual abuse in daycares spread nationwide despite lack of evidence. Today, social media accelerates moral panics, allowing unfounded fears to reach millions in minutes. From anti-vaccination movements to conspiracy theories, these modern manifestations reveal an uncomfortable truth. Despite our technological advancement, we remain as susceptible to collective hysteria as our ancestors were centuries ago. Throughout history, humanity has witnessed how ordinary citizens can become participants in unthinkable atrocities when caught in the gravitational pull of extremist ideologies. From Nazi Germany to Khmer Rouge Cambodia, totalitarian movements succeed by dissolving individual identity into a collective consciousness where moral responsibility becomes diffused and brutal actions are justified in service to the group. The psychology is frighteningly simple. When we surrender our individual judgment to collective identity, the unthinkable becomes possible. Today, this danger has evolved in our digital landscape. Modern media environments algorithmically sort us into echo chambers where our existing beliefs are constantly reinforced and amplified. We've created perfect incubators for extreme views, where moderate voices are drowned out and the algorithm-driven pursuit of engagement rewards the most inflammatory content. Studies show we're not just divided politically. We increasingly inhabit entirely different information realities. Perhaps most alarming is how quickly public opinion can shift through cascading bandwagon effects. When we perceive a movement gaining momentum, our tribal instincts trigger a fear of exclusion. Political scientists have documented how voting intentions can rapidly tip once a critical mass is reached, creating sudden, often surprising political shifts. The stability of democratic systems ultimately depends on our ability to recognize and resist these powerful currents of group influence before they pull us toward dangerous shores. In a world increasingly susceptible to mass movements, developing immunity to herd mentality isn't just helpful, it's essential for survival. First, cultivate contrarian thinking by establishing a mental checkpoint system. When encountering popular narratives, ask, who benefits from my belief in this? What factual evidence supports it? What alternatives aren't being discussed? This isn't about cynicism, it's about intellectual self-defense in an attention economy designed to bypass your reasoning. Second, diversify your information diet. Consume news from opposing viewpoints, international sources, and historical contexts. This cross-referencing creates a mental immune system against manipulation. Follow the rule of 3. Seek at least 3 different perspectives before forming opinions on consequential matters. Finally, build conviction through personal principles. Write down your core values and review them regularly. Practice standing alone in small, low-stakes situations to build resilience for when it truly matters. Throughout history, from Socrates to those who hid Jews during the Holocaust, individuals who resisted mass hysteria relied on internal compasses, not external validation. Breaking free from herd mentality doesn't mean isolation, it means thoughtful engagement with the world. By questioning skillfully, consuming widely, and standing firmly, you develop not just immunity to mass hysteria, but the capacity to help others find their way back to reason. Throughout history, awareness has been our greatest defense against the dangers of herd mentality. By thinking critically and standing firm in our convictions, we become architects of change rather than casualties of chaos. Has mob mentality shaped your decisions or community? Share your experiences in the comments below. Subscribe to RockVein for more insights into how historical patterns repeat in modern society. Hit that notification bell and follow the herd by missing our next upload.